Welcome back, guys. It's Kibla Ahmed out here. I'm joined with G-Man, and we've got a special guest today on today's Brothers Geek Out podcast. We've got Shifu Edwin, and we're going to spread some joy, love, and talk about martial arts today.
Oh
Edwin,
wow.
what's up, man? It's been a while, Shifu. How you been?
I'm alive and I'm kicking. Not so much, but I'm here. It's good. It's
That's
good.
good. That's
Feeling
good.
good.
Man. Nice. It's good to see you, man. We were just talking earlier, man, that I've been in London for 3 months and I haven't had an opportunity to see anyone because obviously this COVID situation and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's good to see you, man. For people that don't know, Sifu Edwin Hector was the one who opened my mind to martial arts. But we met in Watford back in 2008, I think it was.
Damn, look
I
at
think it
that.
was,
Watford,
yeah, maybe before that, 2007, I think. And I remember I didn't even know what MMA was, and all I saw was applied Shaolin Kung Fu MMA, and I'm like, well, I saw Shaolin, I know what Shaolin is. Let me do this. And then yeah, man, I started training up in Watford, and then yeah, man, we got to a point where it was just me and you going up from London. Literally, we
Yep.
lived next door, and we were both
Mm.
driving to Watford training, and we're like, why don't we just train in London? Like, why are we going all the way up to Watford? Let's just stay down
There you
here,
go.
Yeah.
man.
That
But
was it.
we did it, man. But like again, just to express everyone, like you were very open-minded when it came to martial arts. Remember, you got me into capoeira. They had the capoeira class there. Remember with Cascal, and you were like, just try it. And then everything, man. Like I'm into mixed
Yeah.
martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, because you were a very open-minded teacher. Where I want to say, I don't want to pull it out there, but like a lot of traditional styles, especially back then as well, like were very like
Yeah.
closed. Like you got to stick to yourself. But you had a very open mind, man. Where did that come from? Where did your open mind to martial arts come from?
Well, I was fortunate that my Shaolin teacher had a very open mind to martial arts, period. He wasn't like, oh no, you can't learn that. No. His mentality was go and learn, come and teach me. I was
Mm.
like, wow, okay, I'm gonna try this. So I tried loads of things from judo, boxing, karate, silat, taekwondo, BJJ, traditional jiu-jitsu. I did everything and I loved it. Because for me, martial arts is, as I say, it's a language. So
Yeah.
even if I can't understand what you're saying, you punch me in the face, I'll understand that. So it makes it easier.
Well, that's like
But that's
that's what like MMA and the UFC shown. Like such a global sport. It's crazy, right? If you think about it now,
look at
I
that.
was watching an interview with Kamara
Usman.
Usman, right? And he was just talking about UFC Africa,
Mm.
and I don't
Yeah.
think there's ever been not just an African champ, but like a superstar, because he was like Ngannou, because Ngannou's a superstar, and he's like,
Yes.
if you was to do an African card, he has to be the damn
Oh
main
yeah.
event. And I don't think in any sport, like you got a Chinese superstar champion, you got New Zealand, and you got Africa, you got Russia, you got like so
Mm.
martial art is truly a global language,
Yeah.
man. Was you
Now.
was was Shaolin your first martial art you got into, or what did you
No.
start first?
First martial art was Wing Chun because
Ah.
my
Oh,
older
what
brother,
age was
my
that?
older brother.
Ah.
Oh, damn. Tim started doing Wing Chun. Hold on, we started doing martial arts together at 10, so it must have been about 8 or 9. He was
Wow.
doing Wing Chun with Sifu Eddie Yao in Chinatown.
Oh, damn.
So
Okay.
I wanted to learn that, and he'd come home and he'd be doing his forms in the bedroom and no, don't come in. I'm like, oh, but Dad said I got to come upstairs and he goes, go in the other room. I'm like, oh, come on, let me this. I'll hold the pad for you. In the end, I stayed in there and I just watched him doing the forms and I loved it. And all the applications, it was beautiful. And that's what really got me attracted to it. Apart from that, it's my uncle who passed away. We used to fight. That
Mm.
was it. There was none of this, oh yeah, keep your hands up. He's thumping you in your face. You better keep your hands up. And people be like, he was a caretaker for an estate in East London,
Okay.
Clapton, just by the
Clapton, yeah.
Clapton roundabout. And what used to happen is every Sunday morning we'd go down to the hall because he's a caretaker, nobody's using it. He opened the door and he locked the door, and it's just the four of us. So it's my uncle, our two brothers, and myself. And we started. The boxing gloves came out, and he was not holding back on nobody. And there's me like, I'm the youngest, so I know I'm not really gonna get hit. No, I got battered,
You go
literally
beat the most.
battered. And I was like, what? And then we carried on doing this over time. And then I started doing other arts. So that's when I started doing the judo and the boxing. And then one time he invited us back and said, "Yeah, come, let's do some more training." It was the coming of age. Came in there, and Ronald was like, "Yeah." Ronald was doing judo, so he was like, "Yeah, I can do this." I said, "I'll top in your face, but you're gonna throw me 2 punches." "Oh yeah, okay, cool. You go on to somebody else." Me and my brother side, Tiffy. He was like, "Yeah, okay." Boom, boom, boom. Tiffy's moving, man. I'm like, right, he's meaning it today. So big uncle comes on there, and it's like, I got to step up, man. I got to step up. So he started throwing the punches.
Did your uncle, sorry to cut you, but did your uncle, he knew martial arts or he was just on fighting?
He's just a fighter. he was the martial art. Uncle Mark, he was the martial. He just fought. He didn't care. You're going to pick up something, I'll pick up something too. So in the end, I fought Mark and he threw some punches. I slipped it. And I remember we had been learning Sia Quen, snake form.
Okay.
And all I remember is that my hand literally just went up like this. And then it was around his neck. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
And it was like he was fighting. And I said, I ain't letting go, because if I let go, I'm now getting some licks. So I squeezed it until I felt
Tap.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, yeah. And he looked at me and he went, "You're learning. That's good." Bah! That was it. I was like, what? How could you do that to me when I've just literally just leveled the playing field? But it was good. That's how I learned. And that's why I got into martial arts even more after that. And then I went into boxing properly up in, where is it now? Palmer's Green, at the old church in Palmer's Green. I used to train with a couple of the pro boxers up there. And in order to box, you had to do an hour of judo. And there's this little dread guy. And I used to look at him and think, we can handle that. We can handle that, it's no problems. All I remember is that I saw the lights. And I was like, what happened? And he goes, "Come on, stand up." I was like, no, hold on. How did I get down here? And that was it. And that's where I really, truly fell in love with martial arts. Because you did an hour of judo, went to an hour of boxing, came back to an hour of judo. That was it. And it was always judo heavy. So you had 2 hours of judo, 1 hour of boxing. And that's how I've started. And thinking about it today, this is now my 40th year in martial arts.
Wow.
My 40th year. And I'm like,
a lot of skill.
Hold on, where's all the time gone? Because for me, it feels like I just start. I remember walking into the hall at Durning Hall and seeing my teacher jumping in the air, double kick forward, double wrist strike. Wow, I want to do that. And it was called Fire Monkey. And I was like, yeah, but I ain't jumping up there. I just want to do the moves. So I'm not jumping. And been ever since. And look, it's now come full circle. I'm back at Durning Hall, where I first started martial arts in '84 as a general class, and I'm still there. Well, COVID happening now, class is closed, but we're still at the same hall. So
that's awesome. Good. Was you always into martial arts, or did you have like influence? Like, was it like movies or anything, or you just like what got you like? What was the influence? Who was the influence? What was the influence as a kid?
For me, it was my older brother, because he was doing it, and it was real. So it wasn't like there's some old film or something. He was in front of me doing martial arts, and it made sense. How you could punch this way, you could block this way, you could move this way. I was like, okay, that's good. But of course, you then see the films and you see Bruce Lee. And to me, Bruce Lee, no matter what anybody says, he's the epitome of a martial artist, because he dissected everything. Dissected it, broke it up, smashed it up, and then started piecing it back together. And as he pieced it back together, he made it more relevant, not just for him, but for everybody else.
That's right.
It's like when I was in the class of my teacher, Leon, he used to say, okay, is there any questions? And nobody would ask a question. And I'm one of the seniors, and I put up my hand, I say, but why does that really work that way? And people look at me and say, what are you asking that for? And you're the senior. Because I know if I'm asking it and I'm thinking it, there's at least 3 or 4 other people thinking the same thing. But I don't know.
That's right.
I'm not saying anything. But Leon was very open-minded. Leon wanted us to question everything. Why you did the movement this way, why you breathe this way, why you move this way. Why couldn't you just take out a gun and shoot them or something? Anything. But it's about making you think. Because once you start thinking for yourself, it becomes more applicable to you. So
that's right. That's right.
So
how'd you meet Leon? Because you said you walked in there and you saw him in the air. How did you even know that class?
Right. Well,
did you hear from him or something?
Well, this is the funny thing, because Timothy did Wing Chun, and it was in the week after school in the evenings. My dad said to me, "You're not doing none of that strippiness because you have to go to school. So if you want to do martial arts, you and your brother have to find something local, and your brother has to go with you." I'm like, "But he doesn't want to go and learn that." So we went down to a couple of halls, and it ended up at Durning Hall. We came upstairs, looked in. That was it. We were both hooked. So both of us started doing what was then known as Nampai Chuan, Shaolin Kung Fu Nampai Chuan, Northern Southern Fifth. We started training there, and that was it. And we were hooked. And the funniest thing about finding Leon was this: in the West Indian community, we do things called partner, which is where a group of people will put money in each week, and then one person will get a handout for that week, and then the next week somebody, or the next month, however it works. And my mum does a partner in East London, so she asked me one day to take, which I now know was the money, over to this lady's house. You know, you just take this envelope. I'm like, you dare not look in the envelope? You what? Yeah. You look in the envelope, you're going to get a beating. So I took the envelope, went across the road, knocked on the door, or not knocked, rang the bell, and somebody came to the door, and I was like, I could hear voices. I'm thinking, why do I know that name? Or what? I know that voice. You know, you hear something that sounds familiar. I'm like, that sounds like Leon. Nah, it can't be Leon. So in the end, Leon's mum came out. Wow. So she's come out now, and I've gone to give the partner to her. And then who pops out of the living room? Leon. I said, Leon, what are you doing here? This is my mum. Oh, this is from my mum's partner. And that's how we actually knew. So before we even did martial arts, I didn't know that he was a martial arts teacher. Oh, wow. I just used to take this envelope round for my mum to the partner to the house. And that's how it got started. And I was just like, well, okay. And then I met him in the hall, and then I realized, I know you. And that's how we got started. And that's how my martial arts path started in Shaolin.
Oh, that's crazy. That's amazing how the small world that you kind of knew him without even knowing him. But at least your family kind of knew him in the community. So you done the Nampai Chuan for many years. Like, was you still dabbling in and out of other martial arts, or was you just kind of focusing on that at that time?
Well, at the time, I was always doing Nampai Chuan. Leon said to me, "Go and explore." He said, "Listen, martial arts is massive. It's like going into, I was like a Chinese restaurant. Look at how many things are on the menu. You're not going to eat all of them. You might not even see any of them, but try a few of them." But he goes, always remember where your foundation is, because your foundation is what's going to keep you no matter what happens. So when, as I say, when the shit hits the fan, you ain't going to be thinking about, I'm going to do a triple somersault. No. Sit down, throw that kick or throw that punch or whatever it is, you know you're going to use your basics. So that was it. So I went and when I was doing Nampai, I was doing taekwondo, I was doing boxing, I was doing judo, I was doing karate, Kyokushinkai. It was just the thing. But Leon made sure that I understood from him, I want you to do that. I'm not holding you back from learning martial arts. But then you learn to appreciate even more what you started with and what you've got. So it's like, okay, look at where you are now. You're across the other side of the world. But you know, when you come home, what's the first thing you want to taste when you come home?
Mom's cooking, isn't it?
Exactly. Done. End of. Yeah. I don't care how much takeaway you have or what restaurant you've been to, you cook, somebody else. It makes no. When you get home and you taste mum's cooking, you know you're home. And that's how it is for me for martial arts. So I could do all these different martial arts, but when I'm training, I come into Durning Hall, or I went down to Edmonton where the classes were, or even South Kensington. I know I'm home, and it meant more to me then, and even more to me now, 40 years on. Because I still speak to loads of the old school guys who are still part of Nampai Chuan, and they're still training hard. I'm like, that's good. And they're like, are you still training? I said, come on. What do you expect? I'm not a fly-by-night martial artist. I train because I want to. It's something that I love. So that's it. And that's how I've kept on going.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then you started competing through through Nampai Chuan organization and whatnot, like because it was Sandow really, all of the because when I'm looking back at it, like, you know, they were calling the ones that I used to do Lei Tai and all this. So I'm like, end of the day, it was all Sandow, wasn't it? Just a different variation here and there.
You had two because you did well. There was Sandow or Sanshao, and there's Quoshu. So Quoshu is from Taiwan, because that's where the headquarters were. And then Sanshao is Chinese, so it's from, say, Beijing side. That's the two differences. So one's called the national art, and the other one is just the fighting art. And the two main differences between the two of them is in Quoshu, you can use elbows and knees and throws. In Sanshao or Sandar, you can only kick and punch. You can throw, but to them, throwing doesn't mean anything much. But I like both. I just fighting, look. Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah, because you got into MMA after, right? You had a couple of MMA fights. That was obviously you were training all the other art forms. Did you get into like more grappling stuff? Because you were doing the judo, but like BJJ and wrestling and stuff. How deep did you get into that?
I got into training BJJ, and where did I get into BJJ? We know, but that's a whole different conversation. I did BJJ with certain individuals, and even when I went to school, one of the guys that did martial arts as well, Jude Samuel, he was one of the first black belt BJJ stylists in the UK because he trained under Roger Gracie.
Yeah, he was a coach at was the gym in King's Cross, Urban Kings. Remember, I trained him for a little bit. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So the thing is, where I've trained, I've always advised and said to my guys, whoever trains, we go and try it. Just look. I don't know everything. I would never know everything. But the key is, I enjoy what I do. So I want you to have that enjoyment too.
That's good. That's all.
That's it.
Well, you got me into BJJ, right? And you got me into capoeira, and I was obsessed with that. Remember how I went to Brazil, all over Europe, all that shit. I loved it, and I still love capoeira. I just think, as I evolved a bit more as a martial artist, I just wanted to get a bit more on. And I'm not saying capoeira is not effective. It is. I just wanted to kind of focus a bit more on effective stuff like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. Still doing the Shaolin with you when I can. But yeah, I mean, I love, and if you weren't for you to tell me just go try it, I probably wouldn't have got into it. Same with like BJJ, to be honest. I mean, you introduced me to BJJ because again the class was MMA, Shaolin MMA, and then one day you're like, all right, on the ground, guys. I'm like, what the hell's going on down here? And it was just like we were doing like ground and pound and locking and what do you call it, escapes and whatnot, hip escapes and just the basics. You took us. I remember you just taking us through the basics, but it was so. Basically fish out of the water, right? I didn't know what the hell was going on, and doing all these sweep techniques and arm bars and whatnot. Literally, I didn't know what was going on, but this was your knowledge just teaching us. And then you're like, you know what, G, you need to go to the BJJ school and try and learn a bit more about it. Because I can't remember exactly what, you remember his name. We were in Durham Hall and I don't know, I was grappling with someone. I somehow got him in an armbar. What's that dude's name? Do you remember?
Oh my goodness, I can't remember. Was he a tall guy, short guy?
He was kind of just a bit taller than me. He had a bald head, black dude. Come on, I had him in the armbar, and then I got him in, and you were like, armbar, yeah? Anyway, after that,
Was that Khalid Mohammed?
It might be. I don't know who it was. I can't remember the name. I feel bad.
It might be Khalif. I think it was that.
Because you remember, everyone was bigger than me. Well, everyone's still bigger than me. So I used to get manhandled. All the time. And then somehow we were rolling, and I just had him in the armbar position, and then boom, and then it was like, oh, gee, you need to go see so and so, and just tell him Edwin sent you, and check it out. And ever since then, I've been in BJJ, man, and I love it. I love jiu-jitsu. I do find it very effective, especially for small individual. I find it to be one of the most effective martial arts. But that's when you start introducing to Hoist Gracie and MMA. You were like, gee, go do some research on Bas Rutten, and I think you just done some workshops with Hoist Gracie and Bas Rutten and whatnot. You were like, gee, go check these guys out. You need to go learn about it. And that's when I was like, oh, there's this MMA thing, man, this mixed martial arts thing.
No, but that's what I like, because at the end of the day, it's like food. You might like fried chicken. I might like boiled chicken, but it's chicken. Just try it. If you like it, brilliant. If you don't, at least you know you've got a real reason why you don't, or real reason why you don't. Yeah, this is either or. But I'm saying martial arts is food, and we're all eating at different. We're all eating at the same table. It's just a different taste. Just enjoy it.
That's right.
That's me, man.
That's awesome, man. And you're still doing Sui Jiao, right? I mean, I see you, you got back into it, right? You got deep back into it recently.
Yeah.
How was that going?
That's going well. Pre-COVID, it was going brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant. Mike, he's an amazing teacher. He is really, and he's what I think people of like-mindedness will always tend to meet at some point, and then it's either going to blossom or it's literally just going to be like explosion. When Mike and I got back together, it exploded because he remembers me from fighting. So he was like, yeah, I remember you at them tournaments, dashing everybody on their back and their head. I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, you should come back and do the swage. I was like, when? He goes, Saturdays. I said, okay, I'm doing it. And that's it. I just started coming with him each Saturday, and then sometimes you'll train in the park. We'll go to the park and train. It's just not regurgitating old knowledge. It's just polishing.
That's right.
You can never polish a technique too many times.
No.
Because you then realize you get somebody who's 6'6" or 6'7" or whatever. It's a whole different leverage game that you're playing.
That's
and
right.
then all of a sudden it's like, this isn't working on him. But remember, you don't just know Sway Jiao, Edwin. You know Wing Chun, you know Taekwondo. Everything is about movement. And if you understand movement, you can do anything that you want to do. Whether you're standing up or you're lying down, doesn't matter. And so that's really what's made Sway Jiao such a focus for me again. But the first thing has got to be Mikey, the teacher. If you gel with that teacher, you will learn no matter what. You feel tired, you feel hungry, you got to go to work, you're still going to do it. And that's what it is for me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's why I think Westerly touch, man. I mean, we gelled, man. And no, but you were a good influence on me, man, because your open-mindedness and just always kind of guide me and help me through the martial arts. And because you knew it was a passion. It was always a passion of mine. I was just never good at it. I'm still not good at it, but I keep trying.
Yeah.
Like, I always came back. No matter how much beats I took, I came back.
I can tell you now, you are good at it.
I appreciate it.
Without a shadow of a doubt, you are good at it. And it's because you love it. And when you love something, you'll find many, many ways to do exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
Because that's what you want to do. It's like, okay, like I said, you come home, it's mum's cooking. You will try mum's cooking in all different ways. But, when you get the original, you're happy.
That's right.
You know it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly that. Edwin, I wanted to ask, like, with the experience you have now, with all that knowledge, like how it was implemented in your life, like, do you think it made a major difference to the way you hold processes and the way you deal with situation and handle things now?
100%. 100, without a shadow of a doubt, because the motto of the school is learn, understand, apply.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just relate to martial arts. That relates to when you're doing your security work or you're doing your advertising. You always learn something. If you say you know it all, that's it. You're dead. You can't. You're so full of yourself. You're not going to move anywhere. Exactly. But if you have an open mind to say, you can always learn. I can learn from the children, learn from the adults, beginners. And it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be learning, and I have that in my mind always. I want to see how people think, how people interact, and once I've learned that, then I'm saying, now, do I really understand what I've just learned?
Exactly.
How am I going to make sure I do? By applying it. Okay. So rather than me, and I did this actually, what's today? Today's Thursday. I did this week.
Yeah.
Where I'm doing security now, you get these individuals who think that they are entitled. And you have to deal with them in such a way that, easy would be one slap, take them out. But you can't. So I then think, okay, how can I? So everything for me is, good morning, sir. Good morning, madam. How can I help you? And you get these people who think, well, I don't know. And they get so irritated just to say, what do they need to do? Because the library's not open as per normal. So I have to request information from them.
That's right. And
it's like, you can lose your rag in about 10 seconds, if that.
Of course.
Because these people are just ignorant. And I say ignorant to the point that I gave myself, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter what they show, as long as they don't touch me, I'm going to remain calm. And so I only lost my drag once yesterday, and it was at the end of the day. That's it. But for the whole day, I was cool. I was like, yeah, that's what I love. And you have this one individual person, and she comes into the library, and she's like, I want to use the computer. You come here every day, madam. You know what you have to do first. Fill out the form, sanitize your hands, go into the library. If there's a computer there, go and use it. If there's not, see reception, book it. You can't tell me what to do. Oh my God. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. You come in this library every day. You know what you have to do. I'm there as a security personnel. That's it.
That's right.
Just in case if there's anything that needs to be dealt with, I'll deal with it. I don't even need to speak to you. You know, you come in, fill it out, sanitize, go in. I'm not looking at you after that.
Exactly.
You're not 2 meters away from me. But
Oh,
you just
God.
walked up to me. So how can I be 2 meters away from you when you've just walked up to me? I said, okay, you know what? Go inside, use your computer. Yeah? You can't talk to me. Okay, just use the computer. I have nothing more to say to you. When she carried on, I just said, listen, woman, if you're not going to use a computer, you're going to eat some nice road outside now. Oh, you can't talk to me. I said, listen, I've spoken to you kindly. I've spoken to you with empathy, and you're still being an arsehole. So I'll speak to you like you're some jankro on the street, man. Come on. Come out. Everybody in the live was like, because they don't hear me talk. I don't say anything. I'm just like, going. If they have a question, they'll ask me. If they don't, they'll go right past me. But they know what they need to do.
Yeah.
So from that point, I said, I've made my mark this week. I'm happy. Once I lost it yesterday, once. So when I go back in on Saturday, I don't want to lose it at all. That's it. So that's how I look at it. It's just,
if it weren't for martial arts, how you think you would have handled that? Would you have exploded during the middle of the day?
Shaolin Palm works wonders. You'd remember everybody. You see all your ancestors, everybody, one time. That's it. But no, I think I understand everybody's pressured in this at this time right now because you don't know where you're coming or going, or if you have a job or somebody's sick or something. You have all of that, and I understand that, and I respect everybody. I don't care who you are, male, female, young, old. I respect you. But the key is you just have to learn to listen. Just listen. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking you very kindly. Hi, sir. Hi, man. How can I help you? That's it.
Yeah.
Because they assume that the library is open as per normal. Oh, I can sit down and study. No, you can't. It's not for browsing, for books, and it's not for study time. You can only use the computer for 1 hour, and it's for essential use, i.e. you need to order things because you don't have a computer. That's what it's for. So if you order books, you have to order books online. They'll email you back to say, your book's ready. Come and collect. You pick up your book, you go back at the library. So there's no hanging around in the library. That's how they do it. So I was like, cool, no problem. So I try to be because I know the situation and everybody's different. I try to be so amiable to everybody, just so we don't have to have any harsh words or anything like that. But there's always going to be one.
It happens. It happens. And I think martial arts, we're human at the end of the day. Anything can happen. And we're going to blow up once in a while. I have road rage. I have customer issues. We have those one-off moments. But martial arts, even for me, to this day, still has a calming effect on me.
That's good. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
No, it's always been there.
It's always been there, but you're gonna have your days, and it takes one person to push to that level to get the palm.
For this library, it's the same person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so many times, like what? Not even was it last? No, not last week. The week before, I called out a member of the reception team to say, listen, I know it's this woman again. I know there's going to be an issue. So just come out and stand there with me so you can see it for yourself.
Yeah.
So she comes in and again, good afternoon, madam. How can I? You can't help me. I said, okay. And do you see what I'm saying? What are you trying to say? I said, I'm just asking you as a courtesy what you need to do. 2 seconds later, these are the words that came out of her mouth. He's attacking me.
Oh my God.
Difficult.
I'm standing beside Anna like, Anna, have I even moved from where I'm standing? You're not wearing your face covering. I said, what the hell's going on here? So now she's raising her voice so loud that everybody in the library can hear it. And I'm like, I don't care. I said, tell Jono to come out here now. Tell Jono to come. Jono's the manager. I said, tell him to come out here now. I said, Anna's my witness. She stood here and listened to everything that I said. I said, for the mere fact that you're raising your voice to me like I'm some piece of shit, let me tell you something now. Come out the library. That's all I said.
She needs to be
Come out the
banned.
library.
This woman needs to be banned out of the library.
That was the thing. So I just said to her, I've been kind, I've been considerate. I have a witness here who's seen everything that I've said to you. Now I'm going straight. Get out of the library, you watch ya. My woman jumped back out the door. Edwin, don't worry. I'll deal with it. I said, Jono, it's all yours. Deal with it outside the library. She's not coming in this library. So now everybody knows. Oh, don't say anything. You don't have to say nothing to me. Let me tell you something now. I will stand outside the library. You come to the library. I'm still saying to you, no, you're not coming in. And if you don't like it, write a letter. Write an email with your no computer at home. Go on, write it. Because at the end of the day, I've dealt with you so many times. And I've tried to be as friendly, as helpful, and everybody. And she then even gets into arguments with other people lining up. And then they complain to me. And I'm like, listen, go speak to Jono. Not to do with me. Speak to Jono.
It's just one of them.
Yeah, one of those people that just gets out of bed with an attitude, man. And that's her life. Like, and then you know what it is, right? Probably she's just not happy with life. And she's taking out other people and, trying to put them in that position, man. But that's just
maybe so.
Some people
maybe so, but I just leave her be. She comes to the door, I step to the door. No. With all my will, I just be calm and say, no, not today. There's no computers available for the whole day. That's it.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But how
apart from that, I'm good.
How you been keeping, apart from like work, and it's good to hear that you are working and stuff, because obviously a lot of people are not being able to work and losing jobs and whatnot. How you been keeping yourself busy and sane during this whole lockdown for like over a year now, like in the like with us? What's been your like routine and whatever?
Just
What
work
you been
7
up
days
to?
a week. Just work 7 days a week. Work 7 days a week. and you remain calm. But then of late now, I've taken, like today I'm off, tomorrow I'm off from one job, but because I do my own private stuff as well, I'll go. But today and tomorrow I'm just having a rest. Literally, just you realize after time you can kill it as much as you want, and then you're just like, I'm actually tired. So rather than me fall sick, let me just cool down and calm down and be home.
Yeah,
so that's what I'll be doing. I just, me, I like to keep busy. I don't like to sitting down and be like, what am I going to do today? No. Always going through training in my head. And when I can do it physically, I'll do that. But my keys, keep it relevant here because it will be relevant in your body.
That's right.
And that's it.
Yeah, I remember you always just hustling, always on the move. Used to come straight from work when you used to work in the Arsenal Stadium. Remember we used to train?
Yeah,
and you just be in your suit. You had no chance to change. Like, all right, we're just doing it in my suit. Let's go. Like, literally, and then after that, you would have to run back because maybe it was a match day or something.
That's it.
And you have to go back. Always hustling. And then Edwin would only sleep maybe like in the car journey. He's just like he takes a little 5 minutes and then wakes up. Let's go.
It's good determination and motivation and always keeping busy and moving forward. Basically, you're always moving forward, and I suppose it's quite important people take that on board because I know everybody works differently, but keeping your mind like active, it keeps the body active. Keeps pushing
you got to keep your mental state as strong as your physical state, and keep that as strong as your spiritual state. Because if you do, you feel better for it. Yeah. So I'm not saying anybody, you need to be deeply religious. No, just like meditation. People, I think now in this lockdown, people now are realizing my mental state is the first thing that will go if I'm not looking after it.
Exactly.
And that's it. So what I say to everybody is, it doesn't have to be you meditate for an hour. Meditate for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Just do it so you think about you. Be selfish for you. Because if you're not selfish for you, sometimes you give out all of your energy, all of your thoughts and everything, and then you're left with nothing. So for me, always think first, relax the mind, breathe. Like the other thing in I saw it says think, breathe, relax, and that's many times like what I'm doing at work. All the time, sinking, breathing, relaxing. Just try to keep calm. But every now and again, that little monster sort of goes, and you're like, oh. Get back down.
Yeah.
No, I try my best. And that's it.
It's
Yeah,
always
I think
in
at the end of the day, we've all got to just be. We've got to think about ourselves first in order to help others.
That's right.
Because if you don't think about yourself first, you lose yourself. So that's
Yeah,
it.
I hear that. I still use that, because you used to tell me before, like, one is better than none. So just
Mhm.
do something. And I do that. I use that philosophy all the time with stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, especially with training, if I can't be bothered and whatnot, I was like, let me just do a little bit. Let me just do at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes better than doing 0. I don't do 5
That's
minutes.
it.
I definitely train longer. But let me do something. Because once you're in it, right? Once you're warmed up, like, Bruce Lee had that thing where it's like, just walk in, right? The hardest part is walking in. So the hardest part is starting. Once you're warmed
Yeah.
up, you just get on with it. But that's I use that all the time. Like, just do one. One is better than none. And then,
You're right.
yeah.
And that's the best thing for everybody. And I think this whole situation with COVID now has just shown people if you don't learn to master self, and I'm not saying you're going to master it, but as long as you're working towards it, you're going to get better.
That's
If you
right.
don't work at it at all, you're just going to get worse. And this is shown. Because imagine all those people who are single and living by themselves. They have nobody to speak to.
That was me in Singapore, man.
You can speak on the phone. Oh, but at least you know people there that you can actually speak to on a level that will make you feel like, okay, I'm having a good conversation. But if you didn't know anybody, you've moved to a new, look at those people who've moved to new areas, new countries even, like yourself, and they don't know anybody and it's too expensive to call back. That's hard. That is hard. But everybody's learning a new way of thinking, and hopefully that will help them develop better in the future.
I hope so.
Is
That's
it will
the
do.
Is there anything that else, like new stuff that you've learned? So when you go back to training and teaching, that you're gonna like during this time period that you're gonna try and implement, be it
Oh yeah,
physical, mental, for a way of perspective or whatnot.
on a physical level, I know how you guys are going to feel some pain. On a physical level, that's all I know. You all are going to learn how certain exercises weren't being done correctly. Now you're going to do them correctly. Why? Because I've done them. So that's good. On a mental level, it's being able to control yourself at all times, no matter what, no matter how happy, sad, rich, poor you are, how to control yourself. Because I think we take it for granted, control. But in this situation now, COVID, you realize that just saying hello to somebody could make somebody feel like, shit, somebody said hello to me. Whereas before, we take it for granted, like, I ain't saying hello to nobody. I've got work to do. I'm on the bus. Now, people are yearning for that level of communication
Of course.
or interaction even. Just to say, hi, how you doing? You okay? It's like sometimes you're traveling and you see, be it male or female, you see the guys or you see the young lady, and everybody's just so pent up on the bus or the train, and you're like, hey mate, you can have the chair. It's cool, sit down.
Yeah.
And just that little action, and people are like, oh, thank you. And you're like, damn, it's only a chair, man. Stand up, practice your stances. That's what I do.
No, it's true. No, definitely, it's that. It's the little things now that will mean a lot more to people that are going through the little things, and it's taking every moment and being careful about what you say and how you say it as well. So
100%.
no, really good, really good. Oh man,
Are you still following MMA and whatnot these days? Like I know you're big into combat sports, boxing and MMA and whatnot. What's your feelings of where it is today, the martial art? Because I know in heart you're still a traditionalist in the sense you love your traditional styles. But how you seeing like fighters these days and their different styles and is it trending in a direction that you thought it might be, or is it changing, you think?
I think it's changing, but just remember we had this conversation years ago, G. And what do I look for when people come into the octagon?
Let me think. Style? Was it style? What was it, man?
I forgot.
Just to show that they respect the arts. A
Oh,
bow,
okay, yeah.
a salutation. That's what I still look for. I don't care how big a superstar you are. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Remember what martial arts was created for and by, and what it was all. The first thing it taught you was humility. Be humble. Be humble. If your technique is far superior to somebody else, you know you could finish them with that shot. Okay, you finish and then step back. Where you try to punch and I find in the one franchise of fighting. I like how they keep that respect level no matter what. The person who's been choked out, knocked out, kicked out, they'll bow. They bow, they shake their hand. That's what I love about martial arts. Because to me, it's about respect. But when you look at UFC, and it's not even sometimes the other shows who do be it FX5 or whatever they are, it's all braggadocious and I'm this, I'm that. Okay, you are that, fine. But you're practicing the martial art. That's what I look for, is this humility always, no matter what happens, have that humbleness and humility to deal with others. That's what I look for. So I still keep up to a point, but no longer do I like, I'm going to sit up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Nah, latest. Tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, I'll do replay. That's me. So yeah, but I love the martial arts as it is. I think even now, so because of this COVID situation, people have become more respectful of the arts. So when they go in there and they go to fight, there's times that you could see they could lay on some lip and then they'll just stop. And I'm like, that's how it should be. You've shown that you've completely dominated that individual. So why do you need to do anything more? Not necessary. Did you see the last fight with Volkov and the Reem?
Yeah.
One punch. Now he could have jumped over. No, he gave him the punch. He went down, spun about, and my man's walking opposite direction. And I'm like, good. And then he went down and knelt beside him, put his arm around him, and said, "Respect to you as a fighter." Blah blah. Blah. That's what it should be about. Not about because I've got big muscles or I've got big. I'm not interested.
But
I want to
mainstream,
see
though.
the quality.
That's mainstream. Yeah. It's like what they did with boxing when it came to a point where it was like, oh, people love this. Let's give them more. It's entertainment. Let's get some more blood, more punches go in, more. It turned into more of
you're right.
moneymaker, and it's what sells. And
you're right, 100%. Kids, it's what sells. But if you notice now, even with the boxing that they have now, boxing it's much smaller.
Yeah,
much smaller. Yeah. You hear some big fights, and people don't even stay up to watch them now. They'll see it on a repeat, but because they're looking again for that classicness of technique.
That's right.
Look at Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali was boxing, he could chat a lot of words, but he wasn't derogatory of you or your religion. What you find now is a lot of these martial artists are derogatory about people's religion. For what reason? What does that religion got to do with you? If you're not following it, keep your mouth shut. That's it. But they become it's too much. It's not necessary.
It is a bit of a show. But
the one FC that you mentioned, the one in Asia, they focus a lot, and the owner Chatri, I forgot his surname. Yeah, so I see him in the gym all the time. He's involved all the time and whatnot, and he really emphasizes. You know, when they have the fighter chat before the fight start or whatnot, he really emphasizes on. Yeah, he hypes them up and everything, but emphasizes on. Don't forget, this is martial art, so show your respect to your opponent. All that. They really kind of emphasize over there. I feel like in the Western world, we're a bit more. You know, we do like the storyline. I guess we do like the drama. That's what's brought in. You know, the Floyd Mayweathers and the Conor McGregors. It was that. You know, that sort of story. So it sells, and that's why when business is business, that's what they're gonna go to. But you know, there was so many. I mean, we used to geek out about Anderson Silva and how respected George St. Pierre. That's when I first started getting to MMA, and you know, they're coming to the cage and bow and show all that respect. And those are my favorite fighters. And when what was it Uriah Hall beat Anderson, like, that was emotional. Then did you see the end part when they both when he was crying and he's like, I'm sorry, and like that was touching. That was touching to see. But
again, going back to what we were saying, is they show that respect level regardless. And that's what I look for. Yes, I want to see a good fight. If you're so technically dominant, show it. You don't need to be braggadocious. Just show your technique, your superior domination of technique. That's what I look for. And if you can show it, brilliant. And people can respect you for that. But when you're talking, and then you still don't back it up, you're like, you need to shut up.
It's true. Simple. I do think like, because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is one of the biggest parts of MMA. So all the MMA gyms has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I do feel one of the styles that really always emphasizes on the traditional, I don't even know if that's a word, but keeping tradition, right? You bow, you show respect, you spar and whatnot. But that is one of the only art forms within, like, you know, the key MMA arts, if you want to pull it, that is that still traditional. Because like, Western boxing, wrestling, you know, the Muay Thai still has its respect to one another. They all do, but it's not like jiu-jitsu. So I feel like that is one of the elements that keeps people in that humbleness. Because, you know,
you're right.
An MMA mat, when I do, you don't bow or none of that sort of stuff. There's none, and I'm not saying you have to. That's got nothing to do with it. But I don't think not many teachers do emphasize on the fact of respect and all that sort of stuff. It's just like, here's a technique. It's how you fuck someone up, and I said, and which I'm not saying like that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that, as you said, as a mentor, as a martial art teacher teaching martial arts, there's not much emphasis on that part anymore of the respect. That's kind of left on you as an individual to kind of figure out. And so most people do, but you know, some people like it's kind of like, you know, they keep their wild side basically. There's nothing holding them back, nothing being taught to them.
Well, I think with doing a traditional martial art, I will always emphasize that regardless. You come into the hall, you bow. You face your partner, you bow. You leave the hall, you bow. Because at the end of the day, we're carrying on the tradition from generations before us. And I think it's just like if somebody comes to your home, then it's all right through, don't say nothing to mum or dad. You'd be like, spin around, head back out the door. It's a respect thing. You do it. You go into anybody's home, you greet, tell you whatever it is, you do it. So it should be standard across the board. Don't care what martial art you do, just standard. And if they don't do it, then they need to be taught how to do it. But we're good. We love you.
I agree with you on that.
I hear that, man.
I agree.
Man,
all right.
If there was any... Sorry, do you want to say something? Or...
No, I was going to say, just timing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to hold you all night. I was going to say, if there was any words of wisdom, as you always give me anyway, but if there's any words of wisdom you want to share with people on trying to keep their spirits up during this time and just in general, like, how would you want to just leave it with people?
Overall, it will get better. And that's the first positive thought you have to have in your mind. It will get better, but it only starts with me. So each person has to take ownership in order to move forward. Because if you take ownership for yourself in speaking and dealing with others, it becomes a lot easier. So I'd just say, keep your chin up. It's hard right now, but the key is we can do it. And we are doing it. So let's just keep pushing forward in the best way. Keep friends, family, loved ones, everybody. Keep everybody close. And look out for people. You might not speak to somebody regularly. Just drop them a text, drop them a WhatsApp. Just that communication is key now. That's what we've all learned.
No, of course.
Man, I appreciate Shifu, man. And thanks for being in my life and whatnot, because you guided me a lot through martial arts life and whatnot. You're part of the family as well. So I appreciate it, man. I mean, friendships for life, I guess, right? Through martial arts.
That's it.
So even though I'm on the other side of the world, we're always kind of communicating. I know I can always rely on you for whatever advice it is. But thanks, man. Thanks for coming on and talking to us and at least spreading the message out with everyone.
Definitely.
Likewise.
Your details will be in the description.
Applied
Shaolin concept.
Okay. Make sure you check it out. Sifu, we can't thank you enough for joining us today. It's always good to catch up with you. I can't wait till I can see you and get a big bear hug. I'll probably get
there you go.
Getting myself in trouble there. But no.
It's all good, man.
So much.
Thank you very much for having me on, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the near future.
Definitely.
Cool.
All right, guys. Take it easy and peace out.
Peace.